something to be said about hard-nosed full contact. It's like that raw rap all the way back to boom bap. Spikes up, Ty Cobb inspired killing the corners. Heating up with recklessness, we still getting warmer. Nevertheless, nothing can test, we bring it best. Wile E. Coyote mixed with Roadrunner, full comers. Holding your title hostage, the kings we smoke others. You're either with us or against us, it doesn't matter which. Scouting your weakness, we bring the wrath when we hit. There's never been a squad as raw as trash goes can spit. You might get bashed with a stick while I'm pounding the fence. Look around, you're a fish while I'm rounding it quick. Take a look at the base and sprint off with a fist in your face. No remorse, no mercy, no force can hurt me. The scouts purposely bring the pain, come try to work me. But there's a crew of dirty cats.
Oh, yeah. Welcome again. Another Wednesday evening. Beautiful downtown Glendale, Arizona, where I'm at, but we're covered. Look at Los. Look at him, dude. Los is probably still playing Overwatch. He didn't bring his screen up yet. He just started the show over there. He's like,
yeah, he was like, these guys are good. We'll just start it.
Come on, man.
Join you when you join you.
I'm like with that NFL pregame show on ESPN. Come on, man.
Dude,
probably
he did warn us, though. He did warn us, though. At least he started it.
No, I mean, I don't want to be here either. I don't know why he gets to not be here. Why can't I not be here either? I mean,
you guys can both bail. I'll just sit here and give my opinion for the next hour and a half. I'm sure people would love that.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to mess with people too. That would be fun. Trying to figure that out, right? Let's see. I will be checking my phone through the show. I got work crap going on, so if I mute real quick, I'll give you a warning.
We should do a Q&A episode. Get like 3 or 4 of us, like you two plus me, maybe someone else, and just have the audience ask questions and we give our full, honest opinion.
Who offered to co-host with you? Who did we shoot down? I'm trying to remember. I probably did say no, but somebody in chat says he offered you and him the co-host, but I'm not sure who it is because it says Facebook user. So I want to
not sure who it is either.
See who I want to shit on. Oh, it's Mickey. Stop, Mickey. You got enough. We gotta back you off there from a PR standpoint. We gotta
go back to SoCal, bro.
we gotta let you breathe a little bit. We don't want to overuse you, because God forbid. Quick note: we're not giving away the backpack tonight. I didn't draw up the bracket. I didn't have time to do it. So you got another week if you want to get in on that. I've been sick since Saturday. Yeah, that's what happens when you take a couple days off. It's a shit show. I will say I'm also aggravated at EA Sports. You promised me the new PGA game on March 31st, and then out of nowhere with no announcement, you fucking moved that shit back to April 7th, which makes a lot of PR sense because the game is pretty much road to the Masters, and the Masters is that weekend, but still, little heads up would have been nice. I've been giving you free money with the goddamn NHL series for almost 4 years now. You don't change a goddamn thing. The least you could do is hold to your release date. I'm not asking too much here. But that game, if you're into golf at all, that game looks ridiculous. I see with Warzone taking a complete and utter shit, a lot of people are jumping back into Fortnite. I never played it, but apparently that's making a comeback. I think you played it before, didn't you?
I have over 1,000 squad wins from back in the day.
See?
I used to play that religiously, but season 1, chapters like 2 through 8, little 9 and 10, and then chapter 2 came out, and I haven't touched it much since.
Wow. Yeah, apparently, I guess Taylor fired it back up, and he had some skins and whatnot that are worth a ton of money from like season 1, so you probably got some that are worth shit, maybe help pay for your wedding. I don't know. I don't even know how it's worth money. Like there's a skin in a game that there's some kind of, eBay looking thing in the game that you could put the thing up and then people,
I didn't even know that was a thing. I might have to go up there real quick because I got a lot of early characters.
Yeah, like I said, you might be able to pay for your wedding and shit. I don't know, man. He told me he's got a skin. He said there's a season 1 skin that he had. He figured out his old password, so he got into his old Fortnite account. He said he had a skin that's worth like $1,000 from season 1.
Like the Skull Trooper one, the OG one.
Man, I don't know. But again, and then he said, what else did he say? Oh, Counter-Strike. He said he had a knife from Counter-Strike that's worth like $500-600. I don't look, man. I don't know how you pay that for something you're going to use in a video game. I don't know.
I don't know how you go about doing that. You should find out for me. I'd ask him, but he blocked me on Facebook a long time ago. I have no idea why, but
you guys got to work that shit out. This is 2023. There's enough woke bullshit going on. You two should work that shit out, whatever the hell will happen. Because I don't know. I don't know either. Well, I'll ask him what his issue is. It's not like, listen, of all the people who played ball, there is one person who doesn't give a fuck whatever happened in softball. So it's not one of those
honestly, things. He could have blocked me because he was tired of seeing all the stupid shit I post. You know what I mean? Like that's very well capable. I'm sure some people have done that.
I mean, I really have no defense for that. I'm just as fucking guilty. Anyway, quick shout out to Junior over with Classy. I got in on the Challenge Cup hat buy-in, and I got that from him, and I want to say thank you. I love this thing with the orange cactus. I'm a fan of what they did with the design. It matches our colors. I literally, had like 3 minutes before the show started, and this was the first thing that I grabbed out of the clean drawer. So, but shout out to the OG Bullet Club. I don't remember everybody, but your boy David you're playing with, Jimmy Neal down in Alabama now. Cameron was on there. Cam, there were killers, and I'm mad I don't remember everybody, but we had killers.
I think killers I only played against you guys one time in my life, and it was at Tempe Sports Complex many a year ago. I might have been filling in with a pickup team. I think that's the only time.
Yeah, I stayed with them for about a year. I didn't play much, let's be honest. But the one time I did I'd play, I've told the story, but Jimmy got his hand broken. He got a ball hit back at him. I had to pitch the if game of a ship out of Tempe. It was an all-nighter, and it was a Let It Fly tournament. So that made it real fun. And then we ended up winning that one. I don't know if it was that one or not, but that's when I first found out.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, we're probably 4
I miss playing
5
in
years
Tempe,
ago.
Man.
But it's a parking lot. It's literally a parking lot. Like, you park in the parking lot, and it's a different kind of parking lot when you go play on the field. Like, those are
Is it that bad now?
Oh, I hate those fields. They're brutal.
Oh, my God. So, I guess it's changed. So, when I first started playing League, that's where I played. That's all I knew. But there was a college fast pitch tournament that would come there every year. Like, ASU was a host of some big event, and they used those fields. So, once a year, they would redo that entire complex to make it ready for that softball event. So then for the next 6 months, it was the best field in all of Arizona because it lasted and they took decent care of it. And then the last 6 months got kind of crappy again until that tournament came back. But if that's not there anymore, then I'm sure it's not a good place to play.
Yeah, so I haven't played there. God, got to be about 1.5 years, 2 years. And the last time I played there was seniors with NCS, and it was bad. They run a couple over there over the course of the year, so I don't know. I don't think it's improved.
I wouldn't expect it to have.
Well, Tempe, they took the Cardinals' money for the practice facility and then put it into something else because it definitely didn't go to Parks and Recs.
Right.
No effing idea. All right. Well, let's. I don't know. I guess Los will jump in whenever he's free. Let's start here. It's a little homerish. It's a Phillies-related thing, but what happened was heinous for all of baseball, and I want to talk about it and then relate it into softball. But I don't know if everybody got a chance to see. And we would play the clip, but we wasted all of our legal budget here on the show on getting a couple lobbyists to get a couple unnamed players re-ranked, and it didn't work out. So we wasted all our money trying to lobby people to get guys like Corey and a couple other higher-ranked guys dropped down to D and it didn't work. So we can't show the clip because we can't afford the lawsuit from Major League Baseball. Yeah. But what happened was JT Realmuto, Phillies catcher, got ejected the other day. Essentially what happened was he was holding his glove out, but he didn't have his head looking back at the ump. And after a couple seconds, he moved his glove. Well, it just so happened the minute he moved his glove, the ump was dropping the ball. Ball hit the ground. The ump tossed him right away. What you don't see in the clip, though, guys, is the pitch before that. JT had held his glove out, and the ump threw the ball out to the pitcher. So I think JT just assumed that's what he was going to do, and he didn't drop the ball right in. It was a hell of a quick hook. I don't know if the ump looked kind of young. Maybe he was a little gun shy. I don't know what happened there, but that was a really bad look.
That's got to be the worst ejection I think I've seen ever.
I mean, that was pretty bad. That might have been the quickest one I've ever seen. I think the worst one. Yeah, oh yeah. The worst one I ever saw is when the ump tried to throw the Oregon player out because he played 3 blind runs. Yeah. That's the worst one I ever saw. But that one was pretty bad. And maybe it's a rookie ump. It's a spring training game. I don't know who's down there in Florida. I know there's certain guys who play ball here and run things that ump the spring training games here in Arizona. I don't know if it's the same thing down in Florida, but if it's some of the guys who ump the games here that I know, if you put it in perspective and you have the same type of people down in Florida, I'm not surprised at the ejection at all. But I thought it was ridiculous. It's not like baseball doesn't already have a problem with some of these older umpires kind of overstepping their bounds. Geez, Angel Hernandez is come on. Like that guy has no business being an umpire right now with how he basically takes over games. I don't know. I don't know. Wait, but that doesn't sound like a bad ejection, whoever in chat. If he got pegged and had time to back kick the catcher on his way out to the mound, that's well earned and it's not a bad ejection. A bad ejection is unwarranted. That's what we mean by worst. If a guy drop kicks the catcher and then clotheslines the pitcher, then that's a worthy ejection. Now look, we all love it. It'll get played for years. It'll be viral, but that's a justified. I think we're trying to talk about unjustified, and most of the guys I know who play E's and D's will tell you every ejection they've ever had is not justified. After they F the umpire up and down and call him a scumbag, and then they can't understand why they get kicked out. But it made me think about softball.
Have you been ejected from a softball game?
Now, this may shock you and the audience, whoever is out there watching or listens later. As far as I can remember, and I'm getting older, so, I'm 99.9% sure, I have never been ejected from a softball game. Never been ejected from a softball game. I hadn't really thought about it until today when I was going to bring the subject up, and I was kind of shocked because I couldn't recall ever getting ejected. I can recall getting into screaming matches with umpires, but I can't recall one ever booting me, which is odd because when I was younger and played baseball, I averaged one a week. That was easy. My favorite one was the ump was just brutal. And finally, the third at bat, I went up there and I went, they put that white thing in the middle for a reason, right? And he just tossed me right away. I may use that one in senior. We put a big black mat there for a reason, right? Because last tournament games I pitched, I swear to you, I could have swore I hit the mat, and not on an edge where, and the ump's calling a ball, and I'm like, was it low? And he's like, no, missed the mat. No, I'm wearing glasses. No, what is going on here? I will tell you, if you've never umped seniors, it's a little harder than it looks. It's not as simple as just watching the mat and the ball hit it. There are some that hit where you got to wait a second and be like, wait a minute. There's some that kick up dirt and the guys automatically assume it didn't hit, but there's ways where it slides off the edges and then kicks up dirt and does hit, though. So it can be a little tricky with the mat. Obviously, you guys with the zone, it's a little different. There's a give and a take. The good thing that I like is, I can do a lot of crazy shit with the ball at 3 to 6 feet. All right, I can make that thing dance. The downside of that is there's a lot bigger area where you pitch to that ball is going to be, trying to make. I'll put it this way: when you have to go to the bathroom, you won't need to push. All right, that's what the ball has the capability of doing when you throw a pitch that low, and you can't be as good a judge about a bad pitch coming back at you. You literally anything you throw remotely close to the strike zone can come back at you very easily, especially with guys who have back control. It's I like having fun with the ball. I like the crazy pitches that way. You get a good umpire, you can catch that outside corner that a guy automatically assumes is a ball, which will probably get him ejected because they start arguing about dumb shit. My favorite is, well, that's not 3 feet. That's my favorite one. How the fuck are you judging 3 feet? Like, do you party with midgets? I'm sorry. Little people? Do you party with little people? How do you know what 3 feet is? It's amazing to me. Anyway, so how many times have you been ejected? Now that we're on that subject.
I've been ejected in softball 1.5 times. The halftime was playing. The full time was as a spectator. Didn't play the whole day. I just showed up later in the day, watched some friends play. Got ejected from the park.
Well,
so which story do you want to hear first?
I would think it'd be the other way around. The half one would be if you were a spectator because you weren't playing. I don't know how to quantify a half ejection.
So here's what happened. It was GSL Worlds a couple years ago. I was filling in with Dirty Money playing first base. And we had Rodney as well, our field umpire. We scored like 6 or 7 runs in the first inning, and we had runners on towards the bottom of the lineup. And I thought we beat out a ground ball, but it was close. So I didn't say anything, and I walked out to first base and started throwing, ground balls to the guys' his first inning. And Rodney was standing there, and I was like, I thought he was safe, man. I'm gonna be honest. Not even yelling, literally, I think he was safe. And he was like, "Don't start this." And I was like, "All right, dude. All I was saying was I think that you missed it. That's not, that's all. I thought we were cool, type of thing." And then he said something else, and I turned around. And I said, "All right, dude. I'll calm down, but you need to get some thicker skin." And he was like, "You're out of here." I was like, "What?" So
that doesn't sound like Rodney.
No, Gage and Watkins were playing second and short, and I don't remember. I think Luis was pitching. And as soon as he said that, they all walked over to him and were like, "Dude, what? What did he say?" And they were like, "Did he swear? Did he yell at you? What do you mean?" And he was like, and then I just kept throwing ground balls to the shortstop and third baseman. And we started the inning, and I never left the field, and I never got ejected. So
that...
he screamed, "You're out of there." And then he kind of let me stay because he realized, I think, that it wasn't too legit of an ejection. And then I knew the guys we were playing on the other team too, and they were making fun of me at first base about how I was ejected type of thing, but never got ejected. So that was the halftime.
All right, Pino, first of all, you would need your own show. I can imagine the stories you probably have from your career that I think we just have to do a special edition.
I folded them all in a pile
of Glue Guys. Wait, if they're folded, why are they in a pile? He muted me, bastard. Pino, you might have your own special show. But look, by all means, Pino, if you want to tell me the Seifman story, everybody's got one. The link, guests.glueguysprogram.com. And then hopefully Marlos is paying attention. Will bring you into the show because I have no control over it. But you want to jump in the queue, and if Marlos sees you, he can put you on. Pino, I love Seifman stories. I got a couple ISA ones. Where I should have been kicked out and weren't, but where they.
So,
but tell me the other one.
I was watching. I think it was a championship game. Dario was umpiring. Rodney was UIC, and this was a couple years ago, right when that whole bat flip rule first started, before anyone even knew it was a rule. I mean, and I wasn't playing in state, and let's face it, I wasn't allowed to play. There was never opens the last 2 years. They were always being under. So like I
Right.
wasn't allowed to play. So before last year when I was coaching, I was never around. So I didn't realize this was even like a thing. So Cotto hit a ball up the middle and bat flipped. And Nate was catching and got super pissed. And at SRP, you know those like diagonal like walkway, not diagonal, the slanted walkway. There's like the benches, and then to get back up into the middle, like
Right.
behind the
Right.
first base dugout, there's that little opening. Nate picked up Cotto's bat and threw it over the backstop into the cement, and it rolled up that thing. So I'm watching all this happen. Cotto got in like a rundown in between second and third, and it was fielder's interference. So Dario was out there and called the fielder's interference, but was like, but Cotto's out, and he's out of the game for bat flipping. And I was like, what? Like, how is that a thing, you know? And I was like, how is Nate not ejected and Cotto is? And they were like, why would Nate be ejected? I was like, he threw the bat. Like, no one saw him throw the bat 100 yards up the first baseline, like over the backstop. And you're going to completely eject one of their players out of the game for dismounting on a middle shot? Like, where is that rule written? And he was like, well, it's an Arizona rule. And I was like, yeah, but did you guys like send it in the email? Is it on Facebook? Is it in the actual rule book? And Rodney was like, no, it's not. And I was like, okay, so then how is it a real rule? Like, at least write it on Facebook. I mean, it's not official, but at least it's written somewhere. And he said something like, not another word. And I probably said something stupid. And he was like, you need to leave. I was like, I need to leave the park over this? He's like, yeah, I don't want you here anymore. And I was like, okay, so you're ejecting a guy on a rule that's not written anywhere. No one knew about it, and I'm getting injected for asking you questions about this. And then I left. So that was those are my two ejections.
I'm not questioning anybody's personal experience because I've heard different stories about different umpires, right? I have. It is what it is. But I guess maybe because I was directing. You know, I didn't play a lot of kid ball. When I did, I was kind of quiet. You know, I had my run-ins with Erickson and Rodney a little bit. I mean, me and Ricky Blue, geez, I'd make up shit just to mess with Ricky Blue. Like, that's too much fun. It's fun to me, and other guys can't handle it. And I can go all day with Ricky, and he loves that. And then when you know, the few times he came up from your seniors, we'd still go at it. And I'm the director. I'm not even in the fucking game. So
right.
Ricky holds a special place in my heart for being a complete dick all day long and consistent. And you know, where I'm from, that's a badge of honor. Anyway, but like, I've had such good experiences with Rodney, and I'm like, I don't.
It's a personal thing,
I'm missing
man. Like,
something
I don't know
there.
what. I don't know. It's been a better relationship, and I've even umpired now for him a bunch of times. But if he umpires my games, it's not. At least it used to be like there were times where I would consider not pitching games for like Pandemonium back in the day when we were a local team. Like Woldle and I would talk before the game and be like, all right, well, Rodney's umpiring us. Should I still pitch? Like, or else, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it was.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was an aggressive, loud, young kid. So, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, Dario has threatened me many times. You kind of know, like, sometimes he's sensitive, sometimes he's not. And then I honestly,
but
like,
you never know.
Erickson could have tossed me multiple times. I mean, he is the nicest guy I think I've ever met in my life, but I've had some horrible in-game experiences with him as my umpire, and it's led to me saying some mean things that I've apologized for. I've talked to him a ton, but like outside, man, he is like the greatest dude. He gives you like the snacks out of his cooler. He'll give you a cold towel if you need it on a hot day. Like the nicest guy in the world, but he really frustrates a lot of people when he umpires, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, how do I put this? I've had him at seniors. I definitely like the fact that he'll hold his ground. And when you're dealing with the older guys, it's a little different. Those guys, they go after the young umps. If they don't recognize the ump, you're getting tested. And the problem is with the seniors, everybody knows the rules. They got nothing better to do. So you got to kind of know your stuff. You know, I've seen some kids get eaten up, and I got to go yell like, hey, I'd like them to come the fuck back. It's not like we got our pick here, all right? But Sean holds to his rule, and I've had to pull him aside and say we're not playing kids. That rule is a rule, but not here. But I do love that about him. And the one thing I will say about him is he is consistent. And when it comes to the senior game, the main thing you're trying to get is consistency. We have such a wide spectrum of bad to good in the umpiring and seniors that, if you can get consistently, if a guy's giving you, 5'11" instead of 6'12", you take it all day long if he's calling the same thing. Because it's so inconsistent. Like, you're giving me 11 one inning, and you won't give me 10 the next. Like, that just fucks with a pitcher's head.
Yeah.
And if you can't kind of take a breath, but the other thing is, even if you adjust and you start throwing, 9-footers, the difference between home runs and flyouts is literally that foot or 2 feet he's not giving you. So it affects the senior pitching a lot more.
I feel like he'd probably be a good senior pitcher. I just think the game's a little too fast for him, and the strike zone not being a mat is a lot for him.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a problem. When I was directing him, I liked seeing him because I knew what was coming, Now, Dario, wow. I'm laughing when you were talking because I agree 1,000%. You have no idea what you're dealing with when he walks into the facility.
Right.
There's no way to tell if it's a good or a bad day for Dario. I guess I'm not director. I can tell these stories now, and I don't really give a shit. And I don't blame Rodney. Let me get this disclaimer out of the way. After the incident I'm about to tell you, I got a little on my high horse and told Rodney, I don't ever want to see that guy at one of my events ever again. Without considering that there may not be anybody else, and we kind of got to run a tournament. So I learned the hard way that, sometimes Rodney doesn't have any choice in who's umpiring. That's how bad it is. So I want to give the man his props. I don't want this to come off like, well, Rodney could have done something. He couldn't have. I'm admitting that. Because I think, one of my next to last tournaments, Dario came out and was like, Rodney, come on, man. It's really, we got nobody? Nobody? Because in my mind, I'm like, by the middle of the day, I'm probably going to have to umpire now. Because Dario has no... Dario's not customer service oriented. That's a friendly way to put it.
Yeah.
We had states out at Cactus. Now, keep in mind, it's fucking August, all right? So... Look, you're irritable the minute you take 2 steps away from your car because you're already sweating, right? It's just it's ungodly hot. You're in an August,
oven for sure,
right? You go into Cactus and then you up it by 15 degrees because that thing, like you said, it's an oven.
All the cement
just holds all the heat in, and then the turf, and then So anyway, I'd say we're about 11:30, 12 o'clock at that point. It's 8. And I, as people may have noticed, I walk around a lot at the tournaments. Well, Cactus makes it easy. I can hit, we were only using the one side of the park, so I could walk on all 3 fields there and see all the games and keep an eye on things. Well, I happened to catch, Dario tosses a guy, and it was weak. I think he was walking back to the dugout after making out and said, that's fucked up, and Dario tossed him. So the guy turned around and started jabbering at him like, you can't fucking kick me for that. Oh, I lost Corey too. Wow, I am not doing a solo show. So if somebody didn't show back up in 5 minutes, this shit is over. We don't do that anymore. And then I guess Dario turned around wanted to fight him. Wanted to fight him. No, I won't quit whining, Los. What, are you winning the fucking game over there or what? Jesus, you told me to quit whining in both fucking... God damn, both accounts. He took the time to go to Instagram and Facebook to tell me to quit whining. Boy, I thought we did a show together for more than a year. Jesus. Anyway, Dario wanted to fight the dude and literally chase him into the dugout. And I was like, oh, no. So that kind of got ugly. That was the worst it ever got. Everybody knows the incident where the ump got bumped out at Pioneer last year. That wasn't even close to that, to the guy getting threatened. But in defense, Dario wasn't bad the last tournament he did. He was fine. I guess it was a good day. Maybe we just caught him on the wrong day. I mean, everybody's got something going on, right? I'm still a little trouble about that. Leon Edwards telling me quit whining. Take the fight. take the fight, Leon. Anyway, I don't know. We lost Corey. Marlos is gaming. I don't know what's happened here, folks. It's off the rails. It's off the rails. I haven't done this solo shit in a very long time. So, you know, this is old school. Now, see, he's got time to fucking put shit on the screen. He's got time for that. I was going to do it later, but since Corey, I don't know if he's coming back. Corey, our special guest host, was brought to you by Boyd's Blinds. BoydsBlinds.com, sponsoring Corey's appearances here on the Glue Guys program. So, hey, if you're window, I could sure shit use some new blinds. If you need a window, blinds, whatever, you want to get, I'm sure he's got tapestries. They still call it that? That's like 80s metal shit, tapestries. Used to buy tapestries to hang, not posters. Any kind of window treatment. There we go. Let me give you an HGTV fucking word. I'm sure they got him over at Boyd's Blinds. I can't believe this motherfucker. Like the Wizard of Oz over here. Like goddamn Wizard of Oz. Go ahead, pull the strings, Puppet Master. What are we going to put on the screen next? Come on, I'm just curious. Yeah, we all know Windows sucks. I can't believe... This is the most the screen's been updated on a show ever. Ever. Amazing. Weird. If you might be a perv. Oh, man. If you know John Walsh personally. Yeah, that's a 90s joke there. So, yeah, never ejected from a softball game. Currently. That could change. Who the hell knows? I don't know. I behaved myself last tournament. I didn't even... The umps took a fucking beating the last one Marlos and I played with BTB, and I was quiet. All right, Windows seems to have... Maybe Windows got corrected here. Yeah, I see you. I see you. We'll see here in a minute. He's checking something. Marlos has got him back up. Wait, no sound yet. Nope, no sound yet, buddy. We're working on it here. Headphones are now green. Yeah, Corey's here, but he doesn't have sound, so maybe I'll make fun of him since he can't respond. Just like Marlos can make fun of me, and I can't even fucking see him. Oh, I heard something there. Yeah, there we got audio.
I got blue screened, man.
Wow, like your computer turned into an Xbox? Nice.
It's
or
terrible.
PS2?
Absolutely
Go
terrible.
old school. You know, no offense, but a Nintendo never blue screened. You just had to blow in the cartridge.
I'm sad I missed the rest of your Dario story, but I don't expect you to tell it again because that's a lot of...
all right. What is it? TLDM or TDLM? He tried to fight somebody and chased him into the dugout of Cactus. That's about what it boils down to.
We almost got... He stepped up in me one time, too. Try to chest bump me at a tournament one time. We were like, Dario, we have a different score. Like, we want to compare books. And he's like, well, I'm not stopping the game. I was like, how are you not going to stop the game? Like, our book's different. And he's like, well, what run are you talking about? And we were like, this run. He's like, no, he for sure scored. Move on. So then, like, a couple innings go on. And, like, we bring the book. And we're like, dude, we confirmed. Like, this person did not score. And he's like, that happened 2 innings ago. We're not going back and changing the score now. Like, you're the one that told us you weren't going to stop the game until it was figured out. And then we lost by 1 run. In the championship. And that wasn't even what I was mad about. It was the way, like, Miriam was pissed because she was yelling, like, we have a book and you're not letting us compare books. Like, what's wrong with you? And, like, he kind of snapped at her a little bit, and I fucking lost it. I was like, listen, dude, I don't care about the run you missed. I don't care about any of that. Like, you're not going to talk to her like that. Like, not even if you're an umpire or not, that makes it way worse, but you're not going to talk to her in general like that. And got pretty intense, you know, and
I can imagine.
It was whatever team we had out there versus GBD. And I remember I talked to the GBD people a couple like days later, and I was like, that had nothing to do with you guys or like the score or whatever. That was just I wasn't going to let someone talk to Miriam that way without at least saying something, you know.
Well,
not to mention we lost by 1 run, and it was the run he lied or didn't know about, but just to move the game along. That made it worse. But That's
I don't understand. I don't understand how, if there's ever, because the rule book is you go to the home book. So whoever the home book is, if the umpire's not 100% sure, you go to the home book. And if your ego is such that you don't know 100%, but you ain't got time for it, let's get the fuck off the field. You're stealing money. You're fucking Angel Hernandez in a fucking softball game. I hope you're proud of yourself.
I just when I umpire, I treat the day as if I was what would I want if I was playing right now from an umpire? There's umpires that do the coin flip, and as soon as it lands on head and he says you're home, he starts your 60 minutes. That's not me. I want to give you a couple minutes. I want to get the whole game in. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to screw you guys out of time. Now, if they go back to their dugout and they're sitting there and they're not getting ready, then I'll speed it along. But I'll tell them at the coin flip bombs, if you guys can hustle and whatnot, I'll wait to start the clock until we're throwing warm up pitches. If not, then I'll start it now. But there's guys like that. There's guys that just never leave behind home plate. There's guys that just can't. If someone gets hurt, even if it's for a second, I'll walk over and hit pause on the clock until I figure out kind of what the potential issue is, and then I'll walk back over. We're paying a lot of money to come out here and play games. If you can't wait an extra 30 seconds to 2 minutes because you want to make your $20 a game or $25 a game, then just go find somewhere else to make $25 an hour.
I don't.
Literally.
Now, I'm a little different and it's probably because I help mostly senior games. If you give those guys an inch, they'll take a mile. And it's not all the teams, but there's usually one out of the two that are playing.
Yeah.
So if you start to get lax because this is the thing, right? They'll know the clock down to the second, or they think they do because they think they know when you. So all game they're chirping. You're we got 7 minutes left. We should have 8. And chirping over dumb shit. So I make it a point after the coin flip to say, I'm walking back here and the clock is starting. And because I try to be nice at first and then they take a minute. So now I'm just I make let them know right away. And I'm a hard ass about that. Where I'll go and stop the clock. If we got a close play, if we get somebody hurt, if there's got to be a discussion about a score, I'll pause the clock if it's not ridiculous.
Right.
And I make it very clear to everybody, listen, I don't care what you say about a call. Really don't. You can MF me up and down, whatever. The minute you get personal, this is your warning. All right? This is your goddamn warning. You're gone, and I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But you can MF me about what a effed up call that was, and but when you're calling me a piece of shit and wishing death on me and whatnot, you're gone. I'm not even having the discussion.
Yeah.
Go away.
I give the same I don't care. I said some crazy things when people have missed calls or I thought they missed calls. So if you want to say it, we're all grown men. We're adults. You're going to be mad at me, that's fine. But don't attack me or me personally and start MFing me. But you could tell me that the call was wrong all you want and that I was terrible and don't, blow the next one. But if you get physical or verbal right directly to me, then that's different. But I'm not going to get offended because you tell me that I need glasses because I missed a call.
Yeah, I could give a shit. The thing is, though, the thing that I will counter with, if they're they'll walk the line, and I'll usually allow it. But if it's going on for 3, 4, 5 innings, then the sarcasm comes out. That's the worst motherfucking call I've ever seen in my life. And I turn around, I'll be like, well, it sucks to be you then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because guess what? I'm here till the game's over, whether you like it or not. So you can approach this however you like. Or I'll say something like, what's funny? I'm not going to lose an ounce of sleep over that tonight.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if I miss a call or I'm not sure, I will literally tell guys, obviously if you don't see it, you're not going to, like an early tag or something.
Yeah.
Right? If I got to play to right field and the guy's tagging from third and I don't have a base up, now I'm fucked. So, they try to throw it over and I'll say safe and I'll say, why? And I go, because I didn't see it. Well, if you didn't see it, how do you make the call? No, asshole, learn the rules. If I can't see it, then the call is safe. It's not, I don't know. The call's not, I don't know.
Right.
I'm honest. If I blow one, I let somebody know. And 9 times out of 10, I'm left alone. If I own it, I'll hear I don't fuck up again. But if I own it, you get left alone. That's how I try to tell the young kids who come up. Hey, if you know you blew it, you can let them know quietly. Don't stop the game and announce it at the pitcher's mound. But you could go over and tell the manager quietly, like, hey, man, I missed that one. Here's what, and let it go. Poor Ryan. He was doing us and NCS, and now he's got a handle. He understands these old guys, but I think he was going from like young guys to old guys, and he just got his head kicked in, but now he's come around, man. The abuse he took his first couple tournaments of me, the older guys trying to abuse him with rules and shit, because he didn't know them all. How the hell is he going to know them all? It's right. Impossible. I don't know them all. I was a goddamn director. I literally had the rules up on my phone every tournament, Yeah. I would get mad. The one thing Dario did and a couple other guys, in the seniors, they know better, so they're going to ask for me. Right. Even though I've set the precedent where, number one, if it's a judgment call, do not call me over there because you're wasting your own time. Right. I'm not going to overrule an ump on a judgment call I didn't see. Number two, you know what's legitimate and what's not. Usually I'll get one early in the day and I'll own them and I'll say, okay. And they'll be like, well, blah, blah, blah. I go, whoa, let me ask you a question. Was it a judgment call? If they say yes, I literally turn around and walk away. Yeah. That's how ignorant they would get about it. So, but like Dario wouldn't come get me. A couple other umps did that. Listen, I personally think, look, man, if they're asking for us, you're off the hook. Get us over there.
Yeah, he doesn't do that a lot.
I'm going to defend you for the most part, unless you really screw up. I'm going to defend you because 9 times out of 10, the call was judgmental. And they think, I don't know why they think me coming over, I'm going to change it because I'm not. There was one time I changed a call as a director, and it wasn't a judgment call. It was a ball out of play thing, and an extra base needed to be awarded in the situation to one of the runners. That's it. And it was a run, and that's the only reason that I did it. But I took the ump aside and told him exactly what was going on and asked him how he wanted to handle it. I said, do you want to make the call or do you want me to announce it? Totally your call. And he wanted to announce it. I said, cool, I walked away. Yeah. And they're like, where are you going? He'll make the call. So you try to protect him. They'll never cut your ump's knees out. You need them the next month or next week. But go ump. It gives you a different perspective on everything. It opened my eyes to a lot of dumb shit having to do it. Back at NCS, we had a team where umps literally said, I'm not coming if I have to ump one of their games. So being the knucklehead I am at the time, a little too full of ego, fuck it, I'll do it. Well, I got into it with them too. And I was definitely unprofessional a couple times because it's a constant barrage of dumb shit. Like you're arguing about, well, that's below 6 feet for 4 innings. Well, yeah, because I'm consistent and I don't agree with you. Why are you still arguing? It's going the same for 4 innings. What makes you think I'm changing it? You know what I mean? What makes you think I'm changing it at that point? So to keep arguing is almost, I don't know, juvenile. But anyway, that's done and over with. I
haven't had too many issues really at all. It's been really pretty smoothly for all the times I've umpired. So I'm pretty lucky. I haven't really needed to do a whole lot of things. So honestly, like umpiring kind of, I don't know. It does open your eyes, and if you haven't done it, you definitely should do it. Doing it, though, has also gotten me more frustrated with certain umpires, like because I know how easy it is to run out in front of the plate on a ground ball to the infield. Mm-hmm. I know how easy it is to jog to second base to make a call when there might not be a play. Like if someone hits a ball towards the gap, towards the outfield on the ground, and you're not at least stepping forward towards home plate, like you're a lazy POS as an umpire, and that's what I think about you because I know that it's really not that difficult. I'm not saying you need to dead sprint to second base on like a routine single. But you should
at least get on the first baseline. At least get on the line. Because you can't make the right call. Look, you can't stay behind the plate and have a good angle to make a call on a close play between a runner and a ball hitting the glove. If you step 3 steps out and get on that first baseline, and no matter how fat you are, and I'm pretty fat, even I, with the quickest runner, taking my time, could take 2 steps out and see the play. I tend to like to get out to like the pitcher's mound on any kind of fly ball. Just to, I'm getting older. I got so, I've seen guys get all the way out to second base from home to make calls sometimes. Like I don't know I'm getting second base, but I'm getting close
Right.
to make a better call. But it's after you do it, that's one aspect where you can get, all right, that
Yeah.
guy's being lazy. That guy's not doing what he should be doing because I've done it. And it, I mean, I don't trust the smart asses who watch this program, to be honest, but I think I did okay. I didn't get complaints when I did it back at NCS. So, and I got a couple people who told me, like, it was fair and I did a good job. Because at that point, I'm just trying to be a good ump. Like you said, what would I want to see when I was playing? What were the mistakes I saw guys make that I can't make right now? Same kind of thing.
Tommy Pelznik from Blue Pills?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Okay.
So
he played 2 weeks ago.
Is and probably will forever be the best umpire Arizona's seen. That's my opinion. That's a lot of people's opinion. He was on a brief stint there for like 2 or 3 years when he umpired, and he was literally
goddamn you, Marlos,
the best umpire. And then he stopped umpiring, and that sucked. But he told me, like, one time, he's like, when I played consistently, I wanted to be the best player, and I wanted everyone, to know I was the best player. So if I'm going to umpire, why would I be a lazy piece of shit? Like, I'm going to try to be the best umpire. So people were like, damn, he's really good at that too. And that's just like personal pride that I for sure carried over umpiring wise. It's just like a little effort, man. Like, just give a little effort and so many more people will be so much nicer to you.
Yeah, funny Tommy story. Well, hold on, let me get to that away since Marlos thinks it's funny to troll me from behind the curtain. I know what that is, all right? You want to hear tournament. I got it. Whoever that is. Congratulations. They make fun of how I say, because I say tourney or tournament. They make fun of me. Anyway, Tommy played with Blue Pill 2 weeks ago. And I think the last time I saw Tommy was when I was at Spring Worlds with them in Vegas. And we had some fun. Now, I haven't seen Tommy. Let's call it 7-8 months. All right. We're playing him. And he comes down the field and I just hear, Embiid sucks. Screw the Sixers. I'm like, Jesus, Tommy, not even a hello? Like, what the? Breaking my balls automatically. Goddamn Windows. Here we go again. Anyway, shout out Tommy. I don't know. My screen went full for a second. All right, good. He's a Celtics fan, so that's why he's breaking my balls as a Sixers fan. It was funny, though, because it was something only Tommy could do, and it'd be funny. But he's a hell of a ball player. He's 130% effort on everything he does, so that makes perfect sense that he would say that. Yeah, I like playing against Tommy. Tommy keeps you on your toes. But yeah, I mean, you got to take some pride in being an umpire. You can't just go take the money, man. You can't. And look, I don't care what you guys say. It's good money. It's good money. I mean, a lot of guys are assholes, but it's good money. And if you got a director who's got your back, and I think both sanctions have that. It shouldn't be as hard as it is. You gotta draw your line. You take some shit. You're gonna have to, like you said. These guys are paying a lot of money, especially for the kids. There's no pool or anything, so you have a bad run of a couple hours, you're going home. You got to try to do your best out there, and for the most part, if guys have effort, I think they get respect. And then you kind of have, Ricky Blue's got his own category. Going in, he's going to go toe to toe for you, whatever you say to him. He's going to come back at you. I'm just curious, does he do that like conference shit when he goes down to Florida?
So he's gotten a lot better at knowing when he can and can't do that.
Okay.
For a while, it was all the time, and it led him into some issues. But honestly, he's gotten way, way better over the years at umpiring, in my opinion. He's, I don't mind seeing him at the fields now, where back in the day I used to not enjoy it. As long as he, in my opinion, keeps it professional and on about the game and not about the show, I'm okay with it. The problem is in Arizona especially, I've always played, if there's been pickup teams throughout the years, I've usually played with like some of my good buddies that are like DC, players, where then the other pickup team is like the Lexes and Hosers and Jordan Spaldings and Nick Days.
Right.
So we've played against each other a bunch of times over the years, and especially early on, it would turn into a little bit more like, even when I played with like Lund last year early on versus that like type of pickup team, it started getting a little too chummy. And like, I get it, it's fine, and that's how I am at League for the most part and whatnot. But like, against that type of team, those two type of teams going at each other in a U-Trip tournament, I'd rather it be about the game and not about the show behind the scenes. And that's how I am personally. But there are times where I do love the lightheartedness and the jokes and like the banter that he brings. It's just situationally, I guess it kind of depends on what Ricky you get. And
well, you hit the nail on the head. There's a time and a place. There are certain teams that you could do that for, and then other times where you should probably just let it play out. Because look, let's face it, there are certain guys that take the shit way too seriously, and that's for all age groups. All age groups. There are guys who just take the shit way too seriously sometimes. Anybody who does a fucking bracket with a 7 a.m. game takes a shit way too serious. Inside joke. Dennis Duran said hello. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I saw that just now.
Were you ignoring it? I'm sorry. Should I have kept quiet on that one?
No, I just saw it come through.
Marlo's got that up there. He's fucking loving this. I tell you right now, he's loving it. He's loving it. He doesn't want to come on because I'm going to shit all over Leon Edwards. Don't get me started. Anyway, not a lot of UFC news this week. Just Leon basically said he will not accept any contract for a fight with Colby. Interesting avenue to take. Guys are getting a little more ballsy to go at Dana a little bit when they don't agree with shit. And it's kind of an overcorrection because Dana White got away with murder with some of these fights over the years, like, telling you what you're doing. See? There he is. He's chiming in. He also may be on a work thing, in all honesty, so Los is not, he gets a pass to a certain extent. Now, look, if I go on his Twitch right now and he's playing Overwatch, that's a different story. Yeah, I know. You're not a fan. Yeah, it's not a good fight, but I don't know. And this is just a personal gripe, a small thing. Like, maybe try to work behind the scenes first. Let some things cool down, and then if you don't like it, maybe come out after that. But I don't know. I don't know. There's no, again, and Los's stance kind of, at least on this, we agree. There's nothing exciting about that fight. Somebody was trying to argue with me the other day about, it's Colby. No, it's old. The act is old. Just like the McGregor act's getting old. The Cejudo act's fucking old. Yeah, that's fair. Fine. I mean, Colby, sucked, to get in that position. I made a comment to Los in text message with, they showed Leon at the Sate Cheeto Corey fight, and I made a joke to him. I was like, stupid Cejudo tweet coming in 3, 2, 1, because he usually always tweets dumb shit. Yeah, the shtick is dead. So I said, it's like, I don't know if Lo said it or I said it, but it's like the old WWE when The Rock and Stone Cold left, and you had all these guys trying to take the mantle, the Cena and Batista, and it just, everybody would just go, yeah, but it's not as good as The Rock or Stone Cold. It's not as good as Degenerate. It's not as good as the Attitude Era. But the difference is now that these guys, Cejudo, Colby, McGregor, Connor, they're basically just characters of themselves. They're trying to be what they were 4 or 5 years ago, and they can't do it. The act is old. It's old. It's crazy. Are you trying to tag some? Okay. So it's just getting old, and not a lot of, like I said, great fight. Well, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be because I thought Cheeto Vera had it, but Corey Sandhagen did a job, man. Cheeto Vera's a very good fighter, and Corey Sandhagen just didn't let him get anywhere near him. And that's more, you got to give Sandhagen credit on that. It's not just Cheeto not fighting well. You got to give Corey some credit on that too. That was a good fight night fight. Holly Holm just fucking played with what's her name? It just played with her. She was playing with her food. And then the robbery of the night was Casey O'Neill had no business winning that fucking fight. That not unanimous decision. Yeah. Anyway, she had no business winning that fucking fight. So I don't know what's going on with the judging lately. Last couple fights, there's been some really weird cards. And then one judge in the Corey Cheeto fight had Cheeto winning like 29-28, or maybe it was worse than that. I don't know, but it was bad. So we'll get the UFC shit done in 5 minutes here. Marlos will be chiming in. We probably go longer, but he's letting his opinions be known through the wonderful text bar at the bottom of the screen there. So if I say something too crazy, he will absolutely correct my ass. That's right. Macy Barber shouldn't have won. Casey O'Neill was fucking the pay-per-view before, and she lost. She got her ass kicked, if I remember. Correct. Thank you. See? He's here to help. The great Oz has spoken. Yeah, that's probably a little before most of your times. Oh, man. So anyway, real quick, we haven't talked since the opens there you guys played. I talked about it on the show, but you weren't on with us. So I figure I can give you kind of your time to have a rebuttal, because I think I took a couple minor shots at you that you got double dipped in the ship, and I didn't. It's only fair to let you have your say here if you want to break my balls.
Yeah, I forgot about that. No, that was a good day. That was a really good day. We came out and really just hit like 850 as a team the first two games against 2C teams. Did what we were supposed to do. Hit all of our home runs. We looked really good. Played Rally White. Won a tough one there, 19-12 or 19-14 or something. We didn't hit great. We had a couple situational stuff that we didn't come through, but our defense was good, and luckily they weren't on offensively. And then we sat around for 4.5 hours and came back, and we were trying to get going, and they were trying to not completely run out of gas. And they were good. They put up 7 in the first. We came in, went hit, home run. And then with 2 outs and bases loaded, we flew out to the fence. I feel like if we hit that home run and go up 8-7, maybe we get jump started and they lay down a little bit. But after that, we just never really recovered. We were real up and down, and they just did what they needed to do. They put up a 0 or a 1 like in back-to-back innings one game, and I thought maybe, but we just never really answered. But that was a good team.
I was going to say, it's not like Classy didn't pick up some quality play. Like, I think CJ jumped in there, and they had like 5 or 6 subs, but
they had Carlos at third, who's playing on Straight Plays A team. They had Will, who just won A Worlds last year at short. Cody was playing 5-man, who made a couple extremely nice plays. I mean, he's phenomenal in the infield. Tyler Moore played second. I mean, he's hits the ball, plays a good second base. Charlie Cano, who's one of the best hitters in the state by far, was at first. Nick Day, another major player. Nico was in center, another A player on straight play. Dom Rodriguez was on straight play, another A player, and they had
no wonder Smoot was talking all that shit. Now it makes complete sense. I would talk shit too with that fucking defense.
Oh yeah, and then they had Smoot, they had Bryant, and there was a kid I honestly didn't know. He's a bigger dude, hit the ball well. But yeah, I mean it's always fun facing lineups like that. I enjoyed it. It makes me better getting ready for Vegas. They definitely deserved it. Like, not taking anything away from them. I did talk to Bob about potentially switching some things around. We played at 12 and 120, and then didn't play again until 6 o'clock. That's not really rewarding to be, sitting around for 4.5 hours. I mean, I guess it is, depending on how you look at it. If you go to Worlds, you're always going to have breaks like that, so you kind of have to learn how to play like that. But it would have been nice to play at noon, get like a game in, just hang out, replenish, play, and then only maybe sit for like 2 games. Or 1.
It's hard to.
But sitting 3, 4 game breaks is kind of crappy.
Yeah, when it's hard when you're sitting in the top half, when you're working toward the king seat there. It's hard when you're in the winner side of the bracket. Because you're trying to keep the winner and the losers bracket somewhat even, so when those matchups finally come toward the end, it's tough. Because you lose, there's more teams in the losers bracket as the day goes on than the winners bracket. So obviously that's where the need is for the fields, But look, any 4 or 5 hour break is tough. even for the young guys, just sitting, getting up. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely told him, like, it had nothing to do with why we lost. Like, we were losing that either way. Like, that team was just really good. I'm not trying to make excuses to why we lost. I was happy with how we played that day in general. But just something to think about, moving forward, bracket setup. So that was a good day. And then this past weekend, C's played too. Looked like it was pretty decent turnout.
Yeah, I saw the number of teams. I did not look at the results, so if you got them up, by all means. I don't know who won. I'm sorry.
Standard double
Brutal
dips.
Weekend. Ooh.
Standard double dip Signot week, which was actually my first and second place choices, I think, for our poll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so X-Men, I think, came in third. Hype came in fourth. And then Figa and AZ Athletics tied for that next spot.
That's good.
So,
we got Caesar coming out.
Surprised Figa only went 2-2. They're just figuring it out. They came out and put up 24 and 26.
Ooh.
And then
maybe they sat for 4 hours.
they did. They played a 12:40. Oh no, they only played. There's only a 1 game break. 1 game break. Lost the standard. Decently bad. Just came out flat, I guess, and then dropped down a couple hours later and lost 27-20. So.
Hey man, 20 runs usually can win you a game. Let's be honest,
I mean, you look at the bottom half of the losers bracket, and no one scored 20.
Right, so
16,
it's usually
13,
pretty good.
8, 7, 17, 15, 17, 14. So, yeah, I mean, they scored 20. Unfortunately, they gave up 27. But, I mean, X-Men through the losers bracket, 21, 23, 27, 23, 14. It's a pretty good run.
Well, listen, that team... Look, the more they play, the better they're going to get. They're already a good team. And it's a couple of those guys, turn 40. So that's scary for me now, for major stuff for S-Bob. But, they were a good team to begin with and relatively unknowns last couple of years, until people started learning, the boys from Tucson can bang. So I think they're always going to be there. I mean, standard... They got the bump. Now they're there. They figured it out. They were a good team regardless. So, double dip, that's something you hang your hat on regardless. And they beat a good team,
Yeah, they're
no
only
slouches in that tournament.
Week, so they lost the Signot week, dropped down, beat X-Men, and then double dipped them. So
yeah, there's no slouches anywhere on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd hate to fucking drop in the losers bracket. You got to play Figa. It's like, it's kind. So I mean, it's nice to see, right? C's we've been hoping for this for years, and now finally everybody kind of worked their way up, did what they had to do. Now every tournament should be something like that. We got enough teams that play consistently.
So there's pluses and minuses to that, and that's kind of what I talked to Alsop about from time to time. Is like C division and which feeds into that CB division is great because now we're getting, 8, 10, 12, 16 team C events, 16, 15, 12, 8 team open events or BC events at least, which is fantastic. But then you kind of look at it from a flip side and, are any of those teams a top contender in Florida in October? And I don't know, but that's what's unfortunate with spreading out the division is now we're making that. But like, how many of those teams are even going to go to Florida? Probably not very many.
It's not a popular destination for teams from Arizona due to previous experience or what they heard, or it's a tough place to go and play when you've been playing in Arizona and Vegas and maybe Cali. It's a tough place to go play. It's a different kind of game. You have to. Again, I've said this a million times. Too many teams are a little home run dependent. That goes away in Florida.
Yeah.
Whether it be weather or you play on the big field, whatever it is, there's too many things in your path to fuck with that theory.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, teams go down there who can double single, double home run here, and they lose the double singles when they go down there. And I don't know what happens. I can't explain it.
Honestly, not playing in those conditions is one thing. The fields are a little intimidating, but also like a lot of those teams are better. Like a lot of states aren't on the same bump path as we are, aren't on the same bump path as Washington, aren't as the same bump path as Oregon. And it shows at Worlds every year when teams from Florida and Georgia and, Ohio and the Northeast and like the Carolinas are finishing at the top every year. Are they that much better, or is it, these teams are playing in C for 5-6 years and we're getting 1 year in C? And I'm not saying it's not justified. I'm just saying, I feel like certain states are behind on the bump path that we are, and it benefits them out of state.
Oh, I don't doubt that. That's going to be a problem for. I tell you, that's one I don't know how you fix from a national level.
You can't. I mean, each director's differently, and they're going to run their program differently. And if certain directors play by the book like they're supposed to, it shows, it feeds. We have a healthy C program now. We're getting to a healthier B level. I mean, that's the correct way to grow your levels, but there's always going to be certain states that aren't going to follow that, and then those teams are going to benefit in the quote-unquote one tournament that matters at the end of the year to win a ring. But that's a small percentage of people in softball that care about that. There's a lot of people that just want to go out and play in their backyard against a lot of good teams, have a chance to win every weekend, and if not, at least they had a good time. And that's where we're at in this division right now.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not the full story, because if that was the full story, then we would have Arizona teams dominating on GSL stuff when it's in Vegas or Cali and, the bigger tournaments. So that's definitely not the full story, because we're also not winning shit when it's in Vegas either.
That's true.
Now, what you said has more of a factor in that every state director is different. So you can at least say, all right, hold on a minute. Is that C team really a fucking C team? They were here in 2018 as a C team. It's tough. It's tough. And that's not anybody's fault. We're not shitting on any
That's
individual.
A whole show in
it's
itself.
A system. Yeah. That's a system problem, and instead of just shitting on national, for anybody to come fix it, I'm not sure how you do it, so I don't even want to shit on national.
Yeah, there's been
some moves that are questionable, but whatever. That happens everywhere.
I mean, it kind of comes down to, well, I mean, we can get into another time. I was just going to say, like, they look a lot at, like, what your points and where you're at, like, ranking-wise and how you do in state, and I get that, and it's important. That's why you see a lot of Texas and Arizona teams getting bumped every year, is because we play from January to February or January to December every year. Win a lot of tournaments, and even though you might be better than a lot of people in your division locally, you might not be there nationally. But looking at stuff like that, but it's hard, because if you're 52-7 in state, someone from New York, someone from Wyoming, someone from Florida, and someone from Kansas is going to look at your record and be like, that's bullshit. Why didn't they get bumped? So that's a whole nother thing, but it's beside the point. I think the bumps are necessarily justified. It would just be nice to not really be able to take a step back and look at each individual player at the end of every year. But that's just a lot of work, and I don't think that there's ever going to be a solution to fix that.
No, it's hard. I mean, shit,
we'll get into that another time.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show. But yeah, all right, we've done enough damage tonight. Next week I'll try to get my shit together, and we'll give this backpack away. Also, I think next week we're gonna try to figure out exactly how many people try to do fucking jerseys in Pakistan. I'm literally gonna try to come up with the number. I think you will be shocked. It'll be almost like an iNews exclusive, behind the scenes. I cannot believe how many fucking guys DM the national senior accounts trying to, hey, buy jerseys with us. And then say, well, why? And they're, well, we're better. How do I know that? I don't know you. I can't go around the corner and like sit down and have a conversation about your business. Like, well, you give us a chance. Why? You've given me nothing to give you a chance. This is not a language breakdown right here. It's a common sense breakdown. But again, I'm kind of surprised because I just don't think most people know how many of these dudes are trying to pull some crazy shit. I mean, it's the same thing as extended car warranties and fucking Amazon scams and shit. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing, man. My understanding, and I'll save it for our investigative report next week, but there's literally like 5 factories in Pakistan, and all these guys are like sales reps kind of thing. So it's similar to these jerk-offs you see posted on Facebook all the time, 47 times a day about, buy jerseys with this person and that person. Like, I'm not even singling out a company. I'm just saying the fakeness is always real. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
It's and the prices. Like, I know the prices. So to see what it's funny to me. I just keep my mouth shut. I got the secret. But it's funny. Like, because I know what they, there's making money and there's greedy. And some people are greedy. Anyway, so yeah, when the Glue Guys line comes out, know that I found one, it's a little cheaper than the other ones, and we're getting it from Pakistan. I'm not pulling no shit. I'll tell you exactly where it's coming from. We got merch we got to fucking sell. Anyway, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. Corey, thank you. Thank you to Boyd's Blinds for providing us with our guest host tonight. Turns out we needed you a lot more than we thought we would. Hopefully next week, we're going to play Where's Marlos? We'll put the thing on the screen, and you got to find him. We'll bring that in next week. All right, anyway, we'll see you next week. Have a great week, and I don't know what the fuck's going on this weekend, but have fun doing it. We'll see you next week.
Later.